Good afternoon, everyone. I hope my voice is audible. So, a quick confirmation from your side will help. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. And is my screen visible? Are you able to see the slides?
Ma'am, slide is not showing.
Is it now visible?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
perfect. Okay, so this is the goal setting module, and it's a 4 credit course. So I'll just brief you about what this course is about and what it involves. So there'll be 3 sessions of 1.5 hours to 2 hours in the subsequent weeks, and this involves around 5 to 6 hours of classes and 10 to 12 hours of coursework. So there'll be some reads uploaded on the discussion forums wherein you just have to go through the reading material and provide your own inference out of that. So that is one kind of coursework, and then there are 2 assignments that you people have to work on, and then there is this midterm and the end term exam. So this is what this course comprises of. Now, what are the learning objectives? So here we'll be studying about the organization's focus areas and the strategic priorities. So all must have studied what organization structure is all about. So how the strategic priorities are actually incorporated in the organization structure and how they map into each other. This is what we are going to study in this course. And the second thing would be how organizations break down the goals into individual measurements for the employees, and how achieving these measurements leads to their performance improvements and overall contributes to the team's performance. And then, as we all know, that goals are one of the important criteria to measure performance. So this is how goals, how they're used to drive performance. That is what we are going to study, that how goals drive performance in the team members. So before we go further, let's just go back quickly into the basics, that what is goal setting all about. So what do you think goal setting is all about? What it means as a term? What do we use it for? So you can type into the chat pod. So any ideas from your side, or the way you see it happening in the organizations, in the companies that you're working in? How does goal setting happen? What it does? Okay, so at a bare minimal level, goal setting is the process of defining. Yes, you're right, Anil. It is the process of defining the targets that we want to achieve. We all have targets in our life. So when we define those targets that we aim to achieve, that is what goal setting is all about. And we all have limited resources and time and things on our hands. So we have to prioritize and pick the ones that are important to us the most. There is some sort of prioritization also that happens with goal setting. So how our goal setting experiences have been so far? So you all must have set goals in your past, in your present companies, or while you were students. So how those experiences have been? Have you been able to achieve all the goals that you had set, or you faced some issues achieving your goals? So what are your experiences? I would like to hear more from you, that how you feel your goal setting experiences have been. So you can just share whether you have been able to achieve, not able to achieve, or there were some roadblocks, a lot of planning, but you were not able to achieve those plans. So what kind of problems that you faced, or probably you might have had good experiences also with goal setting. Okay. Nobody wants to share. Okay, so Jyoti, you want to speak?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
go ahead.
Excuse me, ma'am. Yes,
Go ahead, go ahead.
ma'am. I want to share one goals which I want to achieve in
Mm-hmm.
my organization. Like I'm working जो brand generics.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, when I went in that organization, as a trainee
Yes.
in that organization. In that time, my goal is to become a confirmed employee in that organization. When of my goal when I'm entering in that organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working as a trainee, and I give my best in my work. So starting, I am under of as a junior HR. After that, my junior HR manager seeing my performance, and after that, they are taking me in a senior HR manager
Mm-hmm.
under a senior HR manager. After that, they all are liking my work and they are giving me more and more responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and they are deciding to give me a confirmed employment. So this is my what I want to achieve in my organization life. So that is a become a, like, hopefully that is a going to become a success.
Yes, definitely. And good to hear that you're working as a trainee and now you've got this new opportunity and you've got promoted as well during this period of time. But you, in your current
Yeah.
role, also must be having some goals on which you are being judged or you are being asked to perform or being asked to achieve. Right. And when you achieve those goals, organization sees you as a good
Yes, ma'am.
performer, star performer, and that is what your performance leads you to the next level of promotions.
So,
So,
my first, my like goal is a two types, short term and long term. My
yes.
first short term goal is first to become perform in that company. So I'm going to do one role in my company, and after that, my next, I will do my in my best, and I will get a promotion of my that position. That is my long term goal. That in my company
So
I will
good you
achieve.
shared. So we'll as we proceed with the course, you'll be able to, refine this goal further. So as of now, it's a very generic goal. So you have to break it down further, identify the specifics that would lead to these short-term and long-term goals, identify the action items that you need to work on. So as we proceed,
Okay.
you'll be able to understand the framework that we
Okay.
use to refine our goals. So this course will help you do that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So, where are the problems? So, problems most often lie in our commitment also. Sometimes we just feel that we'll achieve this goal, but we are not committed towards spending energy towards the goals that we set. So, we are not committed enough to what we try to achieve. And the goals, a lot of times, are vague also. They are not clearly defined, they are very generic goals. And then when we don't attach a milestone to our goal, we don't attach a time limit, so that keeps it open ended. And once something is open ended, you'll not spend the right kind of amount, time, energy towards achieving that goal, and you would always kind of defer that priority of yours or that goal of yours. So milestone is very important when you are trying to set goals. And then you need to feel connected with the goal. That is something you want to do in your life. So when that connection is missing, that is where we are kind of half hearted in our efforts. We just try to do what somebody else has told us to do, but we don't align ourselves with the goal. So we should try to build in some sort of connection with the goal. So that is where we are able to achieve the right results. Okay, so why is it important to have goals? Why do we have goals? So most of the time, people think that it is just hopes and wishes that we aim for, that we just want to get better or we want to improve something in the organization. That is what goals are here for. But actually, this is a very wrong thinking. So goals are not associated with wishful thinking. A lot of organizations have got vague goals. Like, I've given one example here. I'll just read out this statement of one of the companies: to achieve profitable growth through superior customer service, innovation, quality, and commitment. So, what do you think this goal is like? Is it a very clear goal? Does it convey something? Or is it a very vague and a generic kind of a goal? Or is it just a wishful thinking? So, organizations are here to, anyways, do this. They are here for profitable growth. They are here for customer service, to drive innovation, to produce good quality products, and to be committed towards what they are doing. So, this is a very generic thing which every organization that exists in today's world is supposed to do. So, this is not goal setting. This is again an example of a wishful thinking. And then the second one, to be in the best in the eyes of the customers, employees, and shareholders. So, this is also a goal which is not specific. So, it is what everybody is supposed to do. So, it has become generic and vague. So, these goals do not inspire anybody to do anything about them. It will just exist as a goal in the goal books. And ultimately, when you do a retrospective after the next year and see where you have been, so you'll lie at the same position as you are now, because these goals don't lead you towards a definite career path. Okay, here is one more example. There are two goals written over here. I want to be a millionaire, and the second one is I want to make $10,000 a month for the next 10 years by creating a new software product. Now you have to tell me which amongst these is a better goal. You can type in the chat pod. First one, Anil, why do you think that? Second one, okay. Aditya, can you type in the chat pod why do you think second one is a better goal? What are the reasons why the second one is better? Yes, because it's specific. Any other thing? So in the previous slide,
Hello,
yeah, Jyoti,
ma'am.
go ahead.
Second one,
Yes, but why?
second a specific goal. Here it's mentioning I want to make a 10,000 a month
Yes,
next years by creating a new software product.
yes,
It's mentioned in a 10 years I will create a new software product. So the goal is specific. In a 10 years I will make this software product.
yes.
That is a specific goal.
So it has all the criterias of a specific goal. It tells you what you need to do by making a new software product. It tells you the duration in which you will achieve that goal, and how will you identify that your goal has been achieved. That is also there in the goal. That when you make $10,000 by making a software product, your goal is set to be achieved. It is all green from your side. So it has the measurement criteria also built in to the goal. Yes, in the first one, we don't have any
Here
time limit.
he want to like here ma'am he want to creating a new software product. Okay,
Yes,
specific goal. For that is also doing effort in
yes,
10,000 a month is making. So
y-
that his goal is
yes, definitely. So this goal is specific and it has an action item and the measurement criteria built into the goal. Okay, so now we'll study about a framework that we use for goal setting in the organizations. This is called SMART framework. So SMART is basically an acronym for specific. S in SMART stands for specific. Specific means something which is very clear, which does not have any generality. There are no two answers, there's only one answer to that thing. So that is very clear in specification. Then M stands for measurable. Measurable means something by which you can measure that the goal has been achieved. Like in the previous example, the person was making $10,000. So once he makes $10,000 by producing a software product, that is when the goal would be measured and achieved. So that is what measurable is. That you should have the criteria to measure the outcome of the goal. Then achievable. Achievable means that you should be able to achieve within the constraints you have. Now, what are the constraints? What kind of constraints anybody can have or any organization can have? So constraints could be time, constraints could be cost, constraints could be quality, or constraints could be scope. So within the reality which exists today, is that goal achievable or not? That is what we need to decide while we are setting goals. For example, if an organization is into producing books or publishing books, it cannot think about manufacturing cameras or entering into another manufacturing arena. That's a very unrealistic goal. So you have to realize your current skill set, the current constraints, and the areas where you can grow and achieve that goal. So it should be achievable. Then relevant. Relevant means that it should be connected with your organization's goal or the organization's strategy. For example, if let's say Nike. So Nike wants to produce best athlete wear for everybody who is involved with sports. So that is its organizational goal, to produce the best quality products, and it wants everybody to be an athlete. So its goals would be relevant to the organization. When it will set goals, the goals would be aligned with this organizational theme, that everybody can become an athlete by wearing elite or exquisite athlete wear. And then time bound. Time bound means there should be some time limit in which you want to achieve that goal. So that time is also very important. So this is what the SMART framework is about. So you need to remember these 5 criteria. And once you're able to meet all of these 5 attributes, then the goal is set to be a SMART
Ma'am,
goal. Yes. Go ahead, Jyoti.
constraints. Ma'am, constraints means?
Constraints means the problems, the roadblocks. For example, cost. Cost can be a roadblock. If you want to do some investment today, you would think about the cost. You might not be having cash in hand and you want to go for some training. So you cannot go. So cost is a constraint. Time is a constraint. You only have 2 days and you have work of 5 days. So that is also a constraint. Then quality is a constraint. You don't have enough budget and your client wants you to deliver high quality product. So that is a constraint. So anything which is stopping you from doing something becomes a constraint. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So now we'll deep dive into all of these attributes and try to understand each of these in detail. So specific as we already studied means something which is very clear, which has clarity built into it. There is no ambiguity. So how do we make our goals specific? So there are 5 questions that we have to ask and then try to refine our goals. So what are those 5 questions? Those are 5 whys. So first one is what. Whenever you think about the goal, so you have to first ask the question what. That what do I want to accomplish? Then the second question should be why. Why do I want to accomplish that? Then who? For whom do I want to accomplish that? Where means what is the place, what is the location, your current company, your client's location, your home, your whatever. So the location is also important. You need to be clear where do you want to achieve your goals, or the department. Then which, then you have to identify which always relates to the requirements and constraints. So constraints we already studied, that cost can be a constraint, time can be a constraint, budget, quality. So you have to identify what are your requirements and what are your constraints. So once you are able to identify answers to these questions, you will be able to come out with a clear goal. So it's just a mental exercise that everybody needs to do to answer these five whys. So it will automatically lead to a clearer goal. And if you're not
Ma'am,
able, yes,
ma'am, please can you again this one explain this five why, please?
sure, sure. So these five whys are the five questions. Whenever you are setting goals, first question you will ask is, what do I want to do? That is a very basic question. For example, in the previous example, you studied, I want to make $10,000. So that is the answer to what do I want to accomplish. He wants to earn $10,000 per month. So this answers the what part of the goal. What do I want to accomplish? Then second question is, why do I want to accomplish? So in why, it can be that it's your organizational profit, or is it where you're growing your skill set, that is why you want to accomplish that, or is it is getting you more customers, more uh, profit revenue to your organization. So why do you want to accomplish that? So those specific reasons you have to identify. Come out with two or three important criteria for why do you want to accomplish those goals. Then who, by whom the goals would be accomplished. Like for a manager, it would be his team through which that goal would be achieved. So in the part of the question who, it is the team members who are involved with the goal. But if you're setting goals for yourself, then you are the person who is involved with the goal. So that answers the who part of the question. Then where do you want to accomplish that? You know, you have to identify a location. Where do you want to accomplish? In which department do you want to accomplish that? Is it the customer service department? Is it your quality department? Or it's your technical support? Where do you want to accomplish that goal? And the last one is, you have to identify constraints or the roadblocks, that what can stop you from achieving those goals. Is it the cost? Is it the budget? Or what else? I hope it is clear. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, great. Thanks for confirming, Amritesh. Jyoti, is it clear to you?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Here, this can we include this five way why to can I give an example, ma'am?
Yes, you want a specific example?
Hello.
Yes, you want a specific
So
example.
I give an example.
Okay. So if I say that I want to improve my customer service
No,
in.
ma'am. Oh, sorry. Actually, ma'am, I want to give example.
Okay, okay. Your voice is actually breaking. Can you type in the chat pod?
Actually, ma'am, I'm attending class from phone. That's why
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
unable
okay,
to
okay. So let's
check.
give it a try. Try
No,
to.
I want to I want to give example like here. Uh, what do we want to complete? So here, if we want to do MBA, so
Hmm.
second, why we want to do MBA? To do a successful job, and what is involved, who is involved. So if which you want to do MBA. So from which college, yeah, from that you want to do MBA. Identify a location. Like if you want to, if you are doing MBA, so in MBA, which is specialization in that location, so which you for suitable for you for doing a successful job. Identify requirement and concentrate. So ma'am, these things I'm not which one, can you
Okay, so for the
explain?
MBA thing, what can be your constraint? So budget can be your constraint. The entire fee for the MBA curriculum could be a constraint for you, right? Or maybe your current educational status. For example, you have not completed your graduation and you want to go for an MBA, so that is a constraint. Or if you're not well versed with the language in which the MBA course is, if you're not well versed with English, then that's a constraint for you. You might have to brush up with your English fluency before you
Okay,
go
okay.
for MBA. So all of the roadblocks that you see in doing your MBA actually work as the constraints.
Hmm.
Or what all you need
Okay,
to do. Now requirements is what all you need
okay,
to
ma'am.
do for MBA. You need to have the right educational loan, talk out with the different management colleges, attend counseling sessions, then choose the best one where you can enroll. So all of these come into requirements. What all you need to do. That research work will be part of the requirements thing,
Okay,
right?
ma'am. I got it.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so it means which includes all the blocks which comes in path. Yes, absolutely right, Aditya. So this is one of the example, improve customer technical support inquiry processing. So this is a goal. Now, in this goal, you have to refine it further. So you have to ask five whys again and come out with a better goal. So first question that you would ask is, what do you want to improve? What does this improvement really mean? That improve customer technical support processing, then what does it mean to improve that? Would you make it more faster? Would you try to make it more accurate? Or what kind of improvement do you need in your customer technical support? So that is the what part of the question. Then the second question is, why do you want to improve technical support? What will this improvement bring to you? Then the third part is, who needs to do this improvement? So since it is customer technical support, so it is the entire department which needs to take this action. And who will benefit as the result? Organization will benefit as the result because the customers will be satisfied. Whatever queries they ask with the customer support, they get clear answers to that. They can easily use the product. They are not doing the troubleshooting themselves. So all in all, we have satisfied customers. So it is the organization which is benefiting. Where will this be done? So again, this will be done in the customer technical support department. Then which parts of the process will be affected? Now here you have to work with constraints and requirements, that what kind of improvement would happen in the customer technical support. Is it that you have to train the employees that are there, you have to train them on the product, or you have to train them with the fluency skills, or you have to make them technical savvy so that they can address the questions on the chatbot, and parallelly they can take the phone calls as well. So all of these things come into requirements, and the constraints, obviously, how much money or investment do you want to do to improve this process. So all in all, once you're able to answer all of these questions, you can improve this goal. So one of the example of the improvement could be improve customer technical support processing by providing training in the product to all the field sales team. So training is something which will lead to improvement in the technical support, and then refine it one step further by adding the time limit also. That by maybe next 6 months, we'll try to improve customer service by 10% or by 15%. So today, if the rate is 70%, we will make it 80%, the satisfaction rate. So this will refine the goal further. Now, here is another example. It's a very easy example. That one goal is write a book, and the another goal is write a book proposal for the life manifesto. So, obviously, the second goal is more specific because it tells you what book are you going to work on. So, this is just a very simple example to make it clear to you that you should just not write the action, you should also write what you are going to accomplish that action for. Now, here we'll do a small activity. So, there are 9 goals mentioned here, and we'll go one by one, and you have to tell me which goal is generic and which goal is specific. So, first goal is wash and clean the car. So, what do you think it is? It is general or it is specific? Type in the chat pod. General. Yes, it is general. It does not have any specifics, no time limit, nothing. Then the second one is wash and clean the car each week. What is goal number 2 like? Is it specific or it is not so specific? So it is better than the first one, but it is again not completely specific. So we'll go with the second choice, not specific enough, because it has the time, but it does not specify the exact process of washing and cleaning, that what do we want to do. Then third goal is wash and clean the car inside and outside each week. Yes, it is also specific and it is better than the second one. Then the fourth one, get better grades in school. What do you think about the fourth one? General. Yes, it is general. Then get better math grades in school.
Specific, ma'am.
It is specific, but again, it is not completely specific. Better math grades could be B, could be
Not a,
C.
yes, ma'am, not a much clear.
Yes, yes. Then in the sixth one, get at least a B in maths in school each semester. So this one is the more specific one because it specifies the
Yes, ma'am.
measurement criteria that once he gets a B or at least a B, the goal is said to be achieved. Then the seventh one, study more often. So study more often.
General, ma'am.
Yes, yes, very general. Then study my assignments every
Yes.
day. General, but better than the previous one. Then study my math assignments.
Third one is a specific, ma'am.
Yes, the last one, the third one, is
At least
the
1 hour
most
each day.
specific one that
It's
at least
specific.
1 hour each day you want to study your math
Yeah.
assignments. So I hope it is clear to you that what specific attribute means. Now we'll go to the second attribute,
Yes,
m-
ma'am.
measurable. So how do you measure your goal? How would you know that your goal is accomplished? So in the initial example, person was earning $10,000. So once he earns $10,000, the goal is said to be achieved, right? So now here you will have to ask 3 questions. How many, how much, and how will I know it is accomplished? So it is not important to answer all of the three questions, but you have to answer one out of these three questions. So whatever your goal is, try to ask how much, how many, and how will I know it is accomplished. So for example, in the previous thing, there was this improvement goal in the customer service department. So try to make it measurable by asking any of these three questions. So there I gave you this example that we are improving customer service by 10% or by 15%, right? So if it is 70%, we are making it to 80% by making a 10% increase in the customer satisfaction rate. So this answers the how much part of the question, that by how much you're trying to improve customer service. So you have to make sure that one of these questions is always answered in the goals that you set, because that way only you will be able to know that the goal has been accomplished or not accomplished. Do you have any questions here, or it is clear to you? Clear?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, ma'am, there is third how will I accomplished means if more customer will satisfied, so I know that is
Yes, but
like
Jyoti,
how much 10% customer.
yes. Okay, I'll explain it once
Yes,
again.
ma'am.
I'll explain it once again. So the goal is about improvement in the customer service. Let's take this as an example. And now we will make it measurable. So improvement in the customer service is the objective. But how will we measure this objective? That is the question. So now if I say that I am going to improve the customer service by 10%, then that will make it measurable. So once the customer service has increased by 10%, that means the goal is achieved. So how did I arrive at this figure 10%, 15%? By asking these three questions. By how much do I want to improve customer service? Or how will I know that I have accomplished my objective of improvement in the customer service? Right? So you can ask any of these three questions and they will provide you the answer. It's not important that you ask all of the three and try to answer all of the three. Just ask any one of these. So that will give you the figure, the numbers, the quantifier in your goal. So numerical value in the goal makes it more measurable. Like you had 10,000 in the previous goal. In this goal, it is 10%. So these quantifiers you have to look out for in the goal. So that is how you make the goal measurable when you have quantifiers in your goal. Is it clear now?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, there are two examples here. Earn more this year than the last. And then the second example is earn $5,000 more this year than the last. Which is more measurable? The second one, because it,
Second, ma'am.
yes, because it has the quantifier. It answers the question how much? How much more do I want to earn this year than the last? So you have to look out for these numerical figures in the goal. Sorry. Now, there is this again a small activity. You have to identify which of these goals are measurable. So, first one is provide better service to all of my customers. What do you think it is? Is it a measurable goal or a non measurable goal? Not measurable goal because it does not have any quantifier or any measurement criteria attached to it. Then
It's
the
not
second, yes, it is not measurable. Then the second one, answer every letter received within 5 working days.
That is measurable, ma'am.
Yes, good, because it has a numerical figure, five
Because
working
here
days.
within 5 work.
Yes.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Then the third one, significantly reduce the number of complaints.
It's not measurable, ma'am.
True, it is not measurable, it is generic. Then
Ma'am,
fourth,
it's not measurable.
it is not measurable, that is correct. Fourth one, lower the number of complaints by 50% from
Measurable,
current.
ma'am, because
Sorry, go ahead, Jyoti.
it's measurable, ma'am, because 50%. Ma'am,
Yes,
measurable because here written 50% from current tables.
yes, it is measurable. Once you lower the complaints by 50%, goal is set to be achieved. Then fifth, add only very productive individuals to the staff. No, yes, because only very productive individuals is a very vague thing. What kind of productive individuals? How many productive individuals? That is not there in this goal. Okay, so now the next part is actionable. So, actionable, what does it mean? Do you remember anything? What actionable meant? Actionable means,
Ma'am, if you are going to achieve it, acceptable is, ma'am, if you are going to achieve goal, action do for that,
yes, so it
for
signifies
achieving
the
your goal.
action item. When your goal has an action item, then that makes it actionable. Like for earning $10,000, he specified that he will make a software product. So that action is there. So you have to make sure that the goal also specifies the action that you need to take to make it work. So there are two examples here. Be more consistent in blogging. And then the second one, write 2 blog posts per week. So the second one is actionable because it specifies what do you need to do every week so that you are a become a consistent blogger. Your aim is to become a consistent blogger, but when you write 2 blog posts per week, you become a avid blogger. So here you have specified the action item also. So that is the actionable goal. Is it clear? Or the second thing by which you can identify is the verb. Like be more consistent in blogging has no verb, and verb is always associated with the action item. And in the second goal, there is this verb write. So when you write 2 blog posts, the action is there in writing 2 blog posts. So this is how it is actionable. So your goal should have some kind of verb built into it. Is it clear? Okay. So now the next one is relevant. What do you mean by relevant? What makes the goal a relevant one? So there are 3 questions that we have to ask here to come out with a relevant goal. Yes, relevant in some way means similar. So your goal should be similar to the organizational goals. So whatever, suppose you're working in a department, that department is the quality department, and you manufacture, let's say, sport shoes. So, your goal or the goal for the quality department has to align with the goal of the company or the goal of the organization, that I will deliver, 10% better quality shoes than what I'm doing right now. If my quality percentage is 70, I'll make it 80% quality approved. So that is how your goal has to fit in the overall theme or the overall strategy of the organization. Then the second question you have to ask is it the right time to be doing it? You know, for example, today you want to do work on sportswear, but maybe it is not the season for the sportswear, or maybe it is not the right time. Maybe there is more competition and you should maybe focus on the next product line rather than sportswear. So today might not be the right time to work on the sportswear. You might work on the swimwear instead. So you have to identify what is the right time to achieve that particular goal. So that depends upon the competitive landscape, that where you need to focus your time and energy on, what is the need of the situation. So on that basis you make that call. Then the third question is it worth the cost and the resources required? So what kind of investment you need to do to achieve that goal? And when you achieve that goal, is the investment that you did worth it? For example, if you spend 100 $1,000 for training your field sales team, and you get a improvement by 5% in the customer service, so is it worth the effort? Because you're spending several $1,000s and you're just getting an improvement of 5%. So you have to compare that ways, that whatever cost that you are spending, is it comparable to the outcome that that cost is generating? So these three questions will help you align your goals better, and you'll be able to make your goals the relevant goals. So it's not necessary that every time you will be able to have the perfect answers for these questions, but at least some level of brainstorming on these three things will help you get better at goal setting. There's no right and wrong answer for these questions, but it is important to go over these three things and brainstorm. So then only the goals would come out to be better ones. There are two examples: qualify for the Olympics tour, and the second one is lower my golf handicap by 4 strokes. So here, the person assume that the person has no knowledge about sports and he is not a golf champion. He has never played golf, and if he is saying, "I want to qualify for the Olympics tour," is it a relevant goal in any way? No, because you
No, ma'am.
no, because you don't have the skill set to achieve that. So it's totally irrelevant. So based on whatever the skill set you have, your current situation is, then if you set goals, that makes it a relevant one. So in the second one, I am not a golf champion, but I will try to lower my golf handicap by 4 strokes. He has exactly specified what will he do to become better at golf. So that is achievable. If he tries to work on his golf skills for the next 4 or 5 months and try to work on this part, this seems relevant. This seems achievable. I hope it is clear. Okay, perfect. So now there's another activity, and you have to tell me which goal is realistic and which goal is unrealistic. Swim a mile. Is it realistic or unrealistic?
Unrealistic, ma'am.
Okay, if you are a non swimmer, do you think it is unrealistic? Because a mile is not too much. A mile is just 1.8 kilometers. So if you're a non-swimmer, you can still learn and swim a mile in the next 4 or 5 months, or whatever is the time period that you decide. So, it is realistic, it is not unrealistic. A mile, anybody can swim after learning how to swim. But when a person says, I want to swim across the Pacific Ocean, that is unrealistic. You can't swim across the ocean. Yes, second is unrealistic. Hold your breath until you faint. What is this kind of a goal? Realistic or unrealistic? So, hold your breath until you faint is very unrealistic. You would never want to do that. And even if you do, you would never, this is not the kind of goal that anybody would want to have. So, it is unrealistic. Then the fourth one, learn to play the piano in one ear.
That is unrealistic.
Yes, that's realistic. Even if I don't know how to play a
That
piano,
is a realistic goal.
yes, I can still learn.
But in a 1 year, I will learn.
Yes, yes, absolutely right. Now, the next criteria is time bound. So, time bound, you already have now enough clarity on time bound that you always have a deadline or you always have the time limit in which you would want to achieve that goal. So, if you say, I will lose 20 pounds, and if you say, lose 20 pounds by December 31st. So, second one is a time bound goal because it has the timeline. So, without timeline, the goals are open ended. You will not work towards losing 20 pounds at all if you keep it open ended. So now identify here which of these are specific time bound and which are not specific and time bound. Next week. Next week, is it time bound?
Time bound, but it's
It is time bound, but it is not precisely time
ma'am,
bound.
it's time. It's not specific. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
it is not specific. Because next week may it could be any day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yes,
Then the second thing is
yes,
next
ma'am.
Thursday by noon. So it is more specific.
So, time bound and specific also.
Yes. Then as soon as possible. As soon as possible is not at all a time bound thing because what is uh, what I may do in 5 minutes, you may think that doing it in 10 minutes is as soon as possible for you. So everybody has its own definition for as soon as possible. So nobody is clear about the exact criteria for as soon as possible. So it is again a not specific thing. Then first thing Monday morning.
Yes, ma'am.
So first thing Monday morning, is it specific?
Ma'am, but not Monday morning is not specific.
Yes, because
Ma'am,
for
it's
me,
not specific. It's time.
yes, there's no
Yes,
time.
but not mentioned in which Monday morning.
Yes, and even the time, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it is not there. Before the close of the business today. So this is also not specific.
Ma'am, it's also not specific. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because close of business is different for different departments also. Like customer service departments, they have night shifts, and for them, close of business is different. For 9 to 6 job, close of business is different. For people working in India, close of business is different. For somebody who is working out of America, it is different. So, close of business is again a very generic term. Yes. Then the sixth one, before close of business today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, here time is mentioned, geographical area is mentioned, Pacific Standard Time. So, it is specific.
Specific, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Then December 31st, but year is not mentioned. So it is again not specific.
No. So it's not a specific.
Yes. So I'm just summarizing here whatever we have studied so far. So SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Realistic or relevant both means the same thing. Then goals should be as specific as possible, and you should try to break them down as far as possible. This will make them more specific. And if a goal is not measurable, it is not possible to know whether the team is moving or showing some progress towards completion. So measurement criteria is important. A goal needs to be achievable, but at the same time, it must not be too easy. Why it is said that the goal should not be too easy but achievable? Why do you think the goal should not be too easy? What do you think are the problems when the goals are too easy? So when the goals are easy, you will not feel motivated enough to achieve that goal.
When we yes, ma'am, and also if we are feel that goal is very easy, then we are also taking serious of that goal.
Yes, we start taking it casually, right? Said Aditya, we take it lightly. So here we will also not grow. So when we are setting goals, we should keep in mind that we should also grow when we achieve that goal. In some way, we should be able to grow better at our current skill set. So some kind of challenge should be involved with that goal. Otherwise, it will be just a piece of cake for us, and we will not feel motivated and energetic towards achieving that goal. Then goal that supports or is in alignment with the other goals would be considered a relevant goal. So here the goal has to be aligned with the organizational goals. This is what it means, relevant goal. And time bound goal is intended to establish a sense of urgency. So here if you set a goal that I want to reduce by 20 pounds by December 31st, so here a sense of urgency is built that by December 31st I have to do it. So if you don't have a timeline, there is no urgency for you to achieve that goal. So you have to build that level of urgency by mentioning the timeline. Okay, so now we have studied. Yes, obviously, right. We are not motivated to do it. So now we are done with the SMART framework. The next thing that we are going to study is the level of goal setting that we have. So there are four major levels of goal setting. So in this session, we'll just go over a very, very brief overview of this thing. But then in the next sessions, I'll try to elaborate more on each of these segments. So first thing that every organization has is the mission statement or the vision of the organization. And then this mission is broken down into strategic goals or the goals of the senior management. And then these goals are broken down into goals of the middle management. And then the goals of the middle management are broken down into the goals of lower management or the execution level. Or you can map it to your own goals, individual goals. Each and every individual, what his goals are. So those are called operational goals. That is the lowest level of goal setting that happens. So middle management level of goal setting, that is called tactical goals, and senior management level is called strategic goals. So these are just the terminologies that will help you, whenever you hear these terms being used. So just try to remember what strategic goals are. So whenever you talk about goals of senior management, you'll say that they are talking about strategic goals. So what do you have any example of a mission statement? Can you give me an example of any of the mission statements of a company, or probably in the company that you're doing internships in? Do you know what the mission statement of the company is? Okay, so I'll just give you an example of Nike's mission statement. So I already told you the mission statement earlier also. I'm just repeating it. The Nike's mission statement is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And then its vision is, if you have a body, you are an athlete. So this is the mission statement for Nike. And similarly for the other companies also, they'll have their own mission statements. So this mission statement is broken down into strategic goals. So Nike wants everybody to be inspired to become an athlete. So how will it inspire? By producing world class sport products, sport shoes, swimwears, sportwears. So these things will become the product lines or the strategic goals of the organization. And then these strategic goals will be broken down into the goals of the middle management, major divisions. That there will be this manufacturing division, there will be the innovation division, or the marketing division. Then how is it going to inspire everybody to buy Nike products, or how is it going to innovate new products? That will become the goal of a middle management. And then the lower management, that what do you need to do, what I as an individual would do to make it happen. So this is the executional level goal of the lower management. So we'll try to discuss this in the next sessions also, but I just wanted to give you a very brief overview about the pillars of goal setting. Now, this is a simple explanation to what we discussed in the previous slide. Instead of having four pillars, so there are these three pillars which you can remember as of now. That at the topmost level, there are organizational goals, and then these goals are broken down into the goals of the team. Team can be a set of 4 or 5 people, or a team of 10 people, whatever that number is. So that team also has a goal. And then the individual goals. And you have to remember this thing, that individual goals will be connected with the team goals. They are not separate. So if the team goal is, if I am into quality department and we are here to produce bug free products, bug free as in the products which are good quality products. So if we are having, let's say, 90 bugs in our product today, we'll try to make it uh, let's say maybe 20 bugs only. So if I have 90 bugs, if I'm aiming for 20 bugs in the next release, so that is my team goal. And what are the individual goals? So individual goals for an employee or a quality person would be to test the product in a way so that in this module uh, the number of bugs are reduced by, let's say, 5. So for each module you have specific goals. So these are the executional level goals for the team. So are you getting it? Are you following it? What organizational goals are, what team goals are, and what individual goals are. So team goals you can also relate to the departmental goals. So if you have a customer service department and its goal is to uh, provide better service to the customers in the European region, and they want to improve this customer service by 15%, then the individual goal, that would be for a salesperson, field salesperson. So his goal would be to develop fluency in the European languages and deliver customer service to the European customers by having the right kind of training for that product. So that would be his individual goal. So each of the individual goals would contribute to the overall improvement in the customer service by 15%. And then the organizational goal here could be that they want to focus on improving the customer service for the entire geography in which the organization ships its products in. So catering to all the geographies and improving the customer service there is the organizational goal. So this is just to give you an example of how an organizational goal is broken down into team goals and how team goals are broken down into individual goals. So do you, any one of you have an example to share here, or probably you can give me an example of your own organization as well, that what is the team level goal and what are your individual goals there? You can also type in the chat pod.
Hello,
Yes, Jyoti, go
ma'am.
ahead.
Ma'am, here I want to give example where I am due to internship in a max security hospital in HR department. So here that HR department goal is there in a hospital nurse is so many less that time. So in a that I am going starting my winter internship in this organization. There that organization goal is in that time. So recruiting nurse in a 31st December. In a I think in a dead month में ma'am one 600 nurse they have a recruiting in the organization goal. So they are providing even to team that a recruiting team who are a recruiting nurse are a candidate that that recruiting some who is doing this thing. So they are doing in that work that they are connecting to that Kerala college. So and they're taking interview from that college for nurse, and they are gain that recruitment team given us who are doing training in there, like give some data and call that so are you ready for their to do nurse work. So it's like that. So we are doing one 7 nurse recruiting team that I'm and me and my one friend Pinky and that team also we are in a 31st December till we are recruiting 350 nurse that time in a 1 month. So that is a whole organization.
Yes, so that was a perfect example towards individual goals and team goals. So that's really very well narrated, Jyoti. So I hope all of you also could get a very, good example of team goals and individual goals. Okay, so now the next part is, why do we have goals? Why do we have goals in the organizations? So goals are used to drive performance in the team. If you don't have goals, you would not be knowing whether the person is performing good, better, worse, or is he liking the role he is in. And you would not be even able to tell it to your senior management that these are the goals my individual employees has, and this is how they are aligned to the team goals. So without goal setting, it is very difficult to convey the right picture to anybody. And at the end of the year, when you have the appraisal sessions, or the promotion things, or when your salary raises are being discussed, so if you don't have goals, you will not be able to negotiate, you'll not be able to know where you were not able to show your skill sets, or what were the shortcomings in you, or what are the areas where you perform that better. So goals actually help those discussions happen in a meaningful way and in a quantifiable way. Otherwise, again, it is a very generic thing where you nobody will know what is happening. So goals are a natural way or a self-regulatory mechanism by which the performance is being measured in the teams or in the organizations. So goals, they help you focus your attention on what you want to do, and then they keep the employee motivated because that's how you see the challenge in, and you try to work towards that challenge. So that gives you a lot of motivation. And then a thought process also gets refined. You need to do a lot of thinking how you want to achieve that goal, or you want to study, you want to have a proper training. So that just revises your thought process, and then you have to do some bit of planning also to achieve that goal. So it's a this complete circle about goal setting, and it's a self-regulatory mechanism. So once the goals are set, anybody would be able to make sure that you're driving performance in the team or not. So they are the actual pointers towards measuring your performance. So you must be able to relate with it. You must also be having these goals in your current organization to measure performance, or getting the feedback from your manager that how am I performing, how did I perform last month, how did I perform this year, what do I need to improve. So all of these questions get answered via goals. Are you getting it? Okay, so now we have two important guidelines for smart and connected goals. So one is the employee has to own the goal. Employee, if he is not connected with the goals that he is setting, in no way he will be motivated or encouraged to achieve that goal. So whatever goals you are setting, you should make sure that you try to own it, that I'm going to do it and this is what I'm going to achieve when I accomplish that. Or this is the area wherein I will improve my current skill set if I achieve that goal. So that I factor is important when you are doing goal setting. Somebody should not give the goals to you. You should yourself get uh, involved in the goal setting process. So that's how you develop that sense of ownership. That goal transfer process never works. So if I'm just copying the goals of my peer, so that ways I will not be able to deliver the right value to the organization. But when I set my goals myself in conversation with my manager and try to understand the organizational perspective and my own perspective, that is how I'll be able to achieve my goals and motivate myself towards achievement of goals. And then weaving personal goals is also not bad. For example, if you feel that you're not very good at public speaking, or you're not very good at your presentation skills, and now if you try to take up opportunities, or you try to set specific goals that I want to speak at so and so conference, I want to try out a speaking opportunity, or I want to research about this topic and deliver presentation in the next 1 month, or I want to be a thought leader in this domain. So there you're weaving your personal goals, and that is the area wherein you will improve in your skill. And but in some way you will connect that with the organizational goal. The areas wherein you will do the research should help your organization in some way or the other, because you are spending time, resources of the organization in doing that. So this is the kind of thought process which is involved in setting goals. Whatever you're trying to do is helping you improve and bringing some kind of benefit to the organization as well. Then good leadership. So that is also very important for efficient goal setting. A lot of times we have questions on the leadership thing which is there in the organizations, but we have no clear criteria that how do I measure that this is a good leadership team, or this organization has a good leadership. So how do I measure that? How do I come to know that this is a well led team? So there are four important pointers here. So if you just try to focus on these four pointers, you would be able to make sure whether this is a well led team or not. So one is purposeful. What does purposeful mean? What do you think this word means? And how does it actually justify that being purposeful makes the team well led? Yes, it specifies what we want to do. So when you see that the employees, they know what they want to do and why they are doing it. For example, if they are working for a customer service department and they know that why they are going for a particular kind of training and what will that bring to the organization, then that is what specifies that this team has a purpose built into it. Each of the employees know where they are heading towards. They know why they are doing it, what they are doing. So they are not having unclear answers. They are just not working for the heck of working. They know that once they will achieve their goals, the organization is going to benefit in some way, and that some way is also very clear to the employees. So that purposeful is very important criteria. So you can also relate to it in this way that individual goals, whatever your individual goals are, when they are mapped to your team goal and team goals are aligned to the organizational goals, that is where there is purpose in the team. So this mapping of organizational goals with the individual goals is very important for a team to be purposeful. Then only the employees will know how they are contributing to organization success. Because if you're just manufacturing products, then employees will not know that if I'm just delivering another product line, or if I'm just manufacturing another product, how does that work, how does that lead to my organizational success? So once you have those answers, then that means that the you're working with a purposeful team, you're working with a team which has a good leadership. Then second criteria is result focused. So the focus of the employees is on delivering the results. So whatever the team goals are, the entire team will work towards achieving those team goals. So project delivery is the focus of the team. Even if you face roadblocks or you face challenges, so the employees would be proactive in trying to remove those roadblocks. They'll take complete responsibility for removing those roadblocks, and the collaboration level is very high in the employees. They have their focus on achieving the results, so this leads to wonderful collaboration in the team as well. So being focused on the results is also very important, because that is what drives the actual value out of what you're trying to accomplish. Then engaged. So engagement is always related to the motivational level. That you should be motivated to achieve what you're trying to do. So team has wonderful motivational levels, and the energy levels of each of the team members is high. So this also demonstrate a very good level of leadership, that a leader is trying to mentor the team in a good way, that each of the employee is motivated enough to achieve the team specific goals. Then capable. Capable is again a very important criteria. So if you are trying to achieve something, and if you're not capable to do that, if you don't have the right skill set to deliver that, then that will just block your organizational progress. So for example, if you are delivering a software product which is a Java based product, and if you now need to work on a new technology which is HTML, so your team needs to be trained to work on HTML or the new technology. So employees, they are themselves taking initiatives to brush up their concepts, to adopt new technologies, research about what's going on in the market, and they are themselves willing to learn, so that they're not blocking their organizational progress in any way. So even if new kind of work comes up, they are uh, well capable of handling that new thing. So this kind of thought process, when it is there in the team, that makes it a well led team. So these four criteria are very important to build in the team for the right kind of leadership to exist. So do you have any questions here? Can you apply these four criteria in your current organization and see whether it's a well led team or there are some improvements needed? So what do you think is the kind of leadership that you have in your current organization? Is it having a good leadership? Just focus on these four attributes and tell me whether you do you think the organization is having a well-led team or a good leadership? Yes, no, what? Okay, so you feel that all of these four attributes are there in the teams that you work for. So that's really great if you're working in organizations which is having a good level of leadership. So you should remember this. This will be of, help to you whenever you're trying to, even grow better at leadership. So where do you need to grow better at? So these four pointers are very important to remember. Now the goal setting process. So goal setting process is always an individual process. Every employee should, own the goal setting process. But leaders, they kind of work with the individuals to help them refine their goals, because everybody is not clear with the SMART framework. Everybody is not very adapt at refining the goals. So good leader always tries to mentor the individuals towards setting proper goals. So that is a mutual thing, but it should always be owned by the employee. Then leaders and individuals, they work together in a negotiation to set the goals to be achieved. So you should always, even if you have set the goals and you believe that they are smart goals, but you should always try to speak them out with the leader and try to get his confidence in the goals that you set. So that will help you in your conversations with him and try to gauge whether you're performing good, better, worse, or at the time of performance discussions also these things will help. So it should always involve the leader or your manager. Now whenever you are setting the goals for your employees, for example, as a leader I would be needed to set or help my employees set goals. Employees anyways own the goals, but I'll have to help them set their goals. So for this I need to know the talent profile of my employees. So talent profile is actually made up of these five things. What are the strength of my employees? What are the weakness areas of my employees? What are the interest areas? Then what drives their passion? Then what are the excellence drivers? Like what are the things which when these employees are asked to perform, they will just give excellent results in those areas. For example, if I ask person A to deliver a presentation and he's very good at articulation skills, he's very good at presenting, he's very good at making slideshows, then that is what makes sure that it is an excellence area for that person. So I should be able to know what is the talent profile of my team. So once I know that, I'll be able to mentor my employees in a better way. I'll be able to do work delegation in a better way. And this you cannot know at once. So this is a very step by step process and a journey for you as a leader to understand your employees. At some point of time, you need to involve into discussions, you need to dig down on things, you just need to talk casually over a lot of topics to find out the answers to these questions. Every time it cannot be a formal thing, so sometimes a lot of informal discussions also help you identify these five things. And then the best areas, when your passion and excellence that maps, so that is the area wherein you would deliver best kind of results. When you're given something which is your passion as well as your excellence driver, then you will anyways deliver superb results and you will be motivated enough to achieve that. For example, if I'm passionate to do coding and I deliver excellent presentations, so when I'm asked to showcase my product in one of the product launch sessions, and I'm given that goal of doing it in the next 6 months, so that is the best area for me to work at. I'm doing what I want to do and I am using my excellent skills there. Then the areas where interest and strength map, that is also a very good area for the task delegation. But if you work on the weakness of the employee, or the areas wherein the person does not have enough strength, so those are the negative areas. So you should not try to do a mapping of the negative areas. It should always have positive mapping involved, some kind of challenge and interest and strength built into the goal setting thing. So for example, if a person is does not really want to take up speaking opportunities, or he does not want to be a person who wants to face the public, he just wants to be an individual contributor, so I cannot provide him the tasks which are related to public speaking, because that is something that he does not want to do. That is not his career goal. That is what not he is aiming to do in his life. He is better at doing coding, delivering good quality products, doing innovation, doing technical research. So I should involve him in those kind of tasks only, because otherwise at some point of time, if the employee's needs are not satisfied or he is not motivated at work, that will lead to attrition in the team. The employee would leave or he'll try to switch. And lot of times, the reasons why people switch is that they don't get the kind of work that they are here to do. The task delegation is one of the important reasons why there is attrition in the companies. And a lot of time leaders are responsible because they don't know the talent profile on the team and they just do a random delegation of the tasks. So this is a very important thing to control the attrition rate and keep employees engaged and keep the motivation level high. So are you able to relate to what is being uh, told here? Is this concept clear? Okay, so shall we move on? Great. Now, the next thing that a leader is supposed to do is to manage talent. So, once you have acquired talent, how do you acquire talent? You hire the right kind of employees. You have the right kind of selection criteria. You have the technical ability test, you have psychometric tests, you have HR evaluation, then you have the final discussions with the management team. So by that, you're able to gauge whether the employee is a right fit for your team and the organization. So acquisition is an important area where a leader focuses his energy on. And that is an important area because if you don't hire the right set of employees, there'll always be a bottleneck for you and uh, there'll be a baggage for you to carry. And then the development. You always cannot have the employees who are trained upfront. Every time you can't get that. So a lot of times employees have to be trained according to the environment that you have. They need to be provided the process related trainings, or probably some of the security trainings that they have to go for. So you have to work on narrowing down the skill gaps that your organization needs and the employee has. So identifying the skill gaps and trying to work towards narrowing the skill gaps is very important for both the employees as well as the leaders to do. So this leads to a capable team, as we spoke about. Having the right kind of skill set for the work that you're doing is very important. And then value extraction. So this relates to the delegation of job. You should try to delegate task as per the best areas of the employee, where their interest and strengths map, or where their excellence and passion maps, so that they are motivated and they are not burned out in what they are trying to do. You should try to get the maximum productivity out of the team. And then the last one is retention. So retaining the employees is also very important. You need to give them a good work atmosphere. You need to keep the team engaged. You need to have, uh, you know, other motivational sessions, or you just need to have some kind of team outings. So this just helps to build in the retention in the workplace. So all of these four heads are very important for a leader or for the organization to focus on. So just hiring the employees is not the end of the game. It's about developing them, it's about doing the right kind of delegation and then trying to retain them. Otherwise, it will again burn the same cost in acquiring employees and training them up. So that cost will again, you know, come out of your own cash reserves. So it's important to develop the existing set of employees and try to retain them. And then the next thing is the mentoring support. Once you try to understand the talent profile of a person, you should try to refine that talent profile, because it comes in steps. You can't know the talent profile, as I already told you, that you can't get to know in one go. You have to keep understanding your employees. You have to have a lot of sessions with them to try to figure out what does this person want to do, and what are his personal goals, what are his career goals. So that kind of support system you need to build in your team, and you have to assign jobs as per their talent profile. And sometimes you have to guide them to solve their own problems, because every time they come to you with a problem and you try to solve their problems, that way they'll never learn to solve their own problems. So the team has to be empowered to solve its own problems. So a lot of times we say, na, best help that you do to other person is to empower them. So if somebody wants money, do not give them money. You should empower them so that they're able to earn money. So that should be the thought process. Should not give them the solution in their plate. Should lead them towards solution. Okay, so now these are the key points here that you need to remember. People who get recognition and promotion in organizations are the people who implement productive changes. Then organize your time efficiently by learning to delegate, minimize disruptions, and negotiate your workload. Learn to set goals that will inspire you and your team to make things work. As a manager, you will be expected to set targets for your team members as part of the annual appraisal process. Then, properly specified goals are also essential to maintain team morale. Attainment of your own targets is highly dependent on your staff achieving the goals that you have set them. So, as a manager, I'll only be able to achieve my goals when each of the employees who are under me are able to achieve their goals. Then only I'll be able to achieve my goals. So, a lot of time, my success depends upon the success of each of the employees whom I'm working with. Then, effective goal setting. So, this involves three important gears. One first gear is to have the specific goal. The goals should be smart and specific. You should use the SMART framework in goal setting. And then acceptance. So, acceptance means that the goals should be acceptable to you as well as your manager or the leader. So, that mutual acceptance should always be there in the goal. So, that way, you will not be working in your silos. Your manager knows what you're trying to achieve. He'll try to help you out whenever you are stuck up. And then the feedback. You should always try to get feedback about your performance, about the way you are trying to achieve your goals from your leader or your peers, because this feedback will help you improve. This feedback will always provide you the right status at that point of time. So without feedback, again, you're just trying to do things your way. So when you hear feedback, probably you make some changes in your strategy. You try to make it work in a better way. You get good pointers from other people as well about their own experiences in the same kind of goals. So feedback is also important. And then when you're trying to give feedback, you should always give it in a positive context, in a constructive way. It should not be demoralizing to anybody. And you should always focus on behaviors, and we should never get personal when we are trying to give feedback. So this thing is very important. So it should not involve any personal thing, it should involve the right behavior. Nobody likes personalized feedback, or when you're hitting on somebody's personal situation. So that should never happen. And it should always be tailored to the needs of the individual. You should be able to know what that individual actually needs at that point of time. So you should try to give him that kind of a feedback. And it should be a two-way communication process. So you can also provide your feedback to the leader. If he's not providing you the mentoring support, you can ask him to do that. You can ask him to provide the right kind of feedback to you if he is not doing that. So it's not only that he's telling you the way you are performing, you're also helping the leader grow when you are telling him the right things. So that makes your relationship also productive, and you both try to grow better at what you are doing. Okay, what's your question, Anil? But many time people apply personal feedback. Then what we should do? Yes, a lot of times when a personalized feedback is given, that's not right thing to do. But we should, try to be more mature when somebody is giving us personalized feedback. We should not try to take it personally then. We should just try to let go if somebody is trying to get personal with us. We should not get demoralized. So there should be some kind of maturity that we also should have if the other person is still giving us personalized feedback. So we should be mature in these situations to try to understand that, okay, you should go and talk to maybe some other person and try to talk to some other leader or your peers to try to get feedback. A lot of times leader also is not trained enough, or he's not a good leader, and he also needs improvement in the way he's leading the team, so he might be giving personalized feedback. But you as an employer knows that this is not what is supposed to happen, so you should be mature and try to get another feedback from somebody else, and never ever get demoralized by personalized feedback. Yes, a lot of times this happens in organization. Even I have heard this happening a lot of times from a lot of people. But yes, the biggest thing is we should not take it personally. And we should, a lot of times, for example, if I have manager A and he's not helping me in the right way, so that does not stop me from getting the feedback from another person. Maybe I can go to my skip level manager and try to, gather feedback from there. So I should try to seek some other opportunity for gathering that feedback, because gathering feedback is an important step that we cannot miss. But we should try to see what other possibilities are there, or probably our own peers, our own employees can also give us that feedback. It's not only important that we get it from a leader. If you're not having a skip level manager or somebody else who can provide us a feedback, just go and have a frank conversation with any of the employees and try to see how you perform, how he thinks you're performing. So that phase also you'll be able to bridge the gap. And then writing your goals down is very important. So this is a very, very psychological thing that, for people who write their goals down, they significantly achieve more than people who do not write their goals down. So goals, when they are written down, they actually, drive you towards achieving them, or, trying to take actions to achieve them. So that is why in organizations we have this goal setting template wherein you're supposed to write down your goals and get it signed by your manager, and your own signatures have to be there. So this thing is important because you are agreeing to do something. So that's a pact between you and your manager. So that ways it brings credibility, it brings quantifiability to what you are trying to achieve. So this will help you achieve your goals, and you will be able to help organization also grow and achieve the goals. So now here I'm just giving some of the examples for good, or the smart goals as I just explained for some of the different roles. So this is a template wherein in the first column you have the role, and in the second one you have the goals, and then the measures, that how will you measure those goals, and the specific target, that how will you know that the goal has been achieved. So the goal statement is, not a smart goal, it is just a vague goal, but the measures and target are there in the second and third column to make the goal a smart goal. For example, uh, the goal for a CEO, let's say the goal is deliver secure, reliable, and delightful customer experience. Now, this is a generic goal. Now, he's trying to make it measurable. That he'll say, I'm going to measure this by the annual recurring revenue growth. And then the target. So, what is the target here? That the net profit score for every product is greater than 85. So, there is this measurement criteria also there for this. So, when the promoter score for each product becomes greater than 85, that is when, he would feel that he has raised enough awareness and built the infrastructure to drive improvement in the customer experience. So, this one was for field operations, EVP role. And then there is the senior vice president goal, that improve leadership brand position in digital marketing. So this he's trying to measure by number of customers who are there in Asia with the subscriptions. Actually, yeah, now I'm able to see the goals. And then how is he going to measure it? That there are 100 new customers in Asia. So when there are 100 new customers in Asia, that is when SVP would have achieved his goal, that they are becoming a leader in digital marketing when they're having 100 new customers. And then similarly, there are goals for managing director, VP. So I'll be sharing the slides with you. So the important thing for you would be to go through each of these goals, roles, and measures and the targets, which I have tried to use here. And I would like to have a follow up discussion in the next session once you go through all of these goals and the measurement criteria. So that is when I would be asking you if you are now, developed the skill set that you can do this level of goal setting for your own organizations, or for your for the roles that you see in your current organizations. So that is uh, homework for you to go through this template, go through the different roles and all of the things that are mentioned in these three slides, and try to come up with the questions in the next session, and try to see that what are the goals in your current organization, what are the roles, and try to formulate the goals for them and the measurement criteria and the targets for them. So is this clear? Yeah, because these three slides are very, very important. Believe me, once you go through this, you will develop enough clarity in the kind of goal setting that actually happens. Because this is a live example of goal setting that is happening for one of the companies, and they are all actual goals. So this will give you a practical exposure to the goal setting thing. Okay, so if you have any questions, we can take them up now. Great, no questions. Okay, so we'll meet next week now. So there will be an assignment which will be based on the SMART goals that we just studied. So go through the assignment details and try to, just make an attempt towards the assignment. And then these three slides are again a part of your assignment where you have to go through these in detail and try to ask questions in the next session. You can also put up your questions on the discussion forum if you want. So that is also a perfect channel. So I hope the session was helpful to you and you enjoyed it. Great. So let's all meet next week then. Thank you. Thank you for joining in.